Hello!
Hello.
Welcome!
Welcome. It was a slow one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before we clicked in, we were hanging on the end of the line.
I know.
I'm Dee Cool.
I'm Lewis Moon, and welcome to the 105th episode of Doctor Who Time and Space.
Is it really that many? Crumbs.
Yes.
Not that many for the YouTubers.
No.
The YouTubers are probably, how many have we had on here?
Almost a year.
Is it really?
I think it was June that we... Was it June the first trailer for Series 8? When the World Cup was on?
Yeah, probably would be then, yeah.
Was it June?
The World Cup was June, yeah. So,
And then the first trailer was in the finale, wasn't it?
So we've been doing these every week.
Well, no, not
on
every
YouTube.
week, because remember that week when it crashed on us?
Oh yeah. But there was something, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
wasn't much. But anyway, so what have we got on this
Okay,
week's show?
so we've got Judge My Tenure,
And this week we're looking at
Peter Davidson's Doctor, the Fifth Doctor.
crumbs. We've also got news and views.
We've
Food.
got another round 2 of Who to Face.
We have indeed. We've also got our first thoughts on the first half of Genesis and Daleks, which came up in the randomizer last week.
And also, if we get time, we might have a little look at this week's Doctor Who magazine.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sounds good. So let's kick off with the news, shall we?
Yeah, there's lots of actual news this week, but not
Oh.
much poll news.
Okay.
But there is a major bit of poll news.
So let's see if we can talk about the news for half an hour like we normally do.
Kate Stewart is back for episodes 7 and 8 of Series 9 as well. Gemma Redgrave will be reprising her role as Kate Stewart more than once in Series 9. In a video released today by the BBC, Redgrave confirms she will appear in Series 7 in episodes 7 and 8, as well as the previously announced opening two-parter, The Magician's Apprentice, The Witch's Familiar. I think we might be able to hear her thoughts on it now.
Okay. We might not hear it very loud, it's quite quiet. Let's see what happens. Do we have the technology? Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
I don't think it's going to work.
No, it probably will in a minute, won't it? It'll probably just suddenly come on. Okay, let's assume we haven't got the technology then.
Oh, wait.
Oh, something's happening. This is exciting news, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Looks like it's loading.
Okay.
The tension.
Attention. Will it load? Oh, what great stuff we're doing on this channel. Okay.
It's on second one.
Yeah, I would think this probably is not going to work.
No, it's not going to work.
Okay.
Let's get out of it.
Okay, so we know that she's going to be in the first
Yeah.
episode 1 and episode 2, and then comes back 7 and 8.
So, what do you think's going to happen in her story this
Well,
year?
It makes me wonder whether actually it might mean that the Missy story is at least going to come back as well.
I think it will.
Yeah. Not to say that she has to be Missy related, because I guess she was in the Day of the Doctor, which had no Missy.
And Para 3, which has no Missy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but Darkwater definitely haven't.
As far as I'm concerned, you can't have enough unit stories, because I like the unit ones.
Yeah, me too.
I
I like it how they never admit that they haven't destroyed the enemy, and they just keep shooting them, even if bullets can't stop them.
Yeah, no, that's right. So, what's your thoughts on unit full stop?
Whatever.
In the New Hawks stories.
So since Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as good as they're not in it as much as the classic series.
No. Can you ever see a time when the Doctor would actually be banished back to Earth again and be sort of working with units?
I don't know. I think there's. I don't know why they did a spin-off of Torchwood, but not with Unit.
Yeah.
They should have. They should do a spin-off with Kate Stewart
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? That's another spin-off opportunity.
and the Brigadier and Cyberbrig coming.
Cyberbrig.
Yeah.
What other news do we have?
You viewers are like news monsters. You want it? Okay.
Actually, just before you do go on to that, I
yeah.
guess the last we saw of Kate Stewart was actually when she was waving to. No, she didn't actually see Cyberbrig, did she? 'Cause she was
No,
fainting,
he
wasn't she?
saved
He
her.
saved her, yeah. So I wonder if she'll mention that at all.
I don't know, because that. Do you think episode 7 and 8 will be Stephen Moffat episodes?
Could well be, yeah.
And does that mean that series, episode 6 and 7, episodes 5 and 6, The Girl Who Died and the Woman Who Lived, have they finished?
I reckon they probably have, yeah.
So
I reckon they're probably
if there's the read through now,
Mhm.
then we should get the titles coming soon.
We should do, shouldn't we? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay.
Another
news?
bit of Series 9 news.
Oh, so it's all pumping out now.
Doctor Who producer Brian Minchin has teased a little bit about Series 9 and what's to come for the Doctor, Clara and Missy. Speaking in SFX 261, there's something commemorative about that issue, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
can't remember what it is. About the opening two-parter and the return of Missy. Stephen had the perfect story. It's not going to be Missy as you expect her to be. Stephen likes to surprise everyone, and he's going to do that with this opening. Missy has an awful lot of sides to her, and we're going to see some new ones in this series. We also learn a bit more about her relationship with the Doctor. On what's in store for the Doctor and Clara, the Doctor's kind of answered his question of, am I a good man?
Am I a good man?
And this year he's having the time of his life, having dangerous and exciting adventures in time and space. These are the glory days of the Doctor and Clara. They're having the biggest, most dangerous adventures they've ever had, and they're having great fun doing it. The mission statement we had was bigger adventures, and to go further in space and time. We've got a very confident Doctor, we've got a very confident companion, and they're both experts at doing this now, so we can tell slightly bigger stories. On two-parters, Minchin reiterates Moffat's past comment. We're doing more two-parters, and not just conventional two-parters. We're doing linked stories where you might not be sure how they're going to be connected until you see them. We're pushing the storytelling that way to give us more scale of adventure. I think Girl Who Died and the Woman Who Lived are going to be one of those stories which they're linked.
Yeah, I still think you're going to have a two-age thing. On
It
that,
said
the same
it was
character.
a two-period adventure.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna have I've forgotten her name, Macy,
Yeah,
playing younger
yeah.
version, and then you'll get the older version of the same character in the same story. I still think that's gonna happen. Sorry, in the following story. I think there's a couple of interesting points coming out from this. Firstly, the one around the changing Missy character. What's your theory on this? Because I've got a theory.
Good.
Yeah.
And
You think what? You think Missy will be good?
yeah, and you know those pictures we showed in February, I think, where I showed you those pictures with Clara and Missy.
Oh yeah.
In the Tenerife filming,
Yeah.
I think they're working together. And I can't tell you that rumor that I heard.
Oh right. Okay.
I was actually going to say that rumor
Yeah.
and what I thought
Yeah.
that rumor meant,
Yeah.
but then I remembered it might actually be a spoiler.
Okay. But I'll tell you my theory because I've not seen that. My theory is, you remember when we watched Logopolis a little while ago
Yeah.
on the randomizer,
Yeah.
and within that one, the Master was clearly a baddie, but then at one point he was forced to work together with the Doctor, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I think there'll be something that Missy does which backfires a little bit, and they end up having to work together to put it right.
Yeah.
So time will tell, isn't it?
So, how do you think Missy will have anything to do with UNIT or not?
No, I think she might be a prisoner of UNIT, maybe.
Okay.
What about the other thing which we had on there was this whole issue of stories blending together.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah, me too.
I really like that. In the past they've had this story arc that's gone through. I actually like the idea of the story arc being stronger than it is. That actually you've got like one really long story broken up into subsections.
Yeah.
But a theme running through it, even more than the arcs that they've had.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any more news?
I think
I didn't mean to say news.
There's a bit more of series 9 news, I think. Okay. Let's look. I'm saving the poll bit till last, by the way. The winner of the Doctor of the Decade thing.
Okay.
Moffat and Capaldi's similar face, whether Missy followed Sim. Stephen Moffat has confirmed that Peter Capaldi's past appearances in the universe will still be addressed, and the scene will take place in Series 9. Speaking in The New Dawn, he said, "Yes, we're coming back to that idea. In fact, we'll be shooting the scene in question really quite shortly." On the possibility the Doctor now has infinite regenerations. Well, he certainly has a new cycle, so it's not a problem that's going to worry us for a long time. In fact, at the current rate of Doctors, I really don't think I'll be involved in that discussion again. Or I'll just be a brain in a tank, being whirled around the convention circuit. Moffat also responded to whether Missy is the regenerated John Sim Master, or is she from an earlier point in the Master's timeline. He said, "In my head, as it stands, she's the one after John. But my researches aren't complete, so I'd better say nothing. As I've been wrong before, you could have knocked me over with a feather when the War Doctor turned up in the name of the Doctor."
So, interesting things within this. Firstly, the fact that it identifies that we will find out a bit more about why why Doctor chose Capaldi's face.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question on that basis. I know it's not quiz or question this week.
No,
and this is the sort of thing that would appear within it, but is this a quiz or a question?
Yeah.
How many Doctors have previously appeared in Doctor Who, but not as the Doctor?
I think it's only Colin Baker.
Yeah.
Because he appeared as Commander Maxwell in Arc of Infinity.
Okay. Is that a goodie or a baddie character?
Kind of baddie.
So I wonder why the Doctor chose that face.
I don't know.
Maybe it was because he's a slightly darker edge.
What? I think he chose Cecilius because because of the fire of Pompeii, and he wasn't able to save him and his family.
Okay.
So I think he chose that place because, and maybe the reason
Is he a goodie in that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. I'm looking forward to seeing that scene, actually.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So what else do we have news-wise?
This isn't to do with Series 9.
Okay.
But Davidson has commented on returning and the Five-ish Doctor sequel that was rumoured last year.
Because we loved the Five-ish Doctors, didn't we?
I
It was
know,
part
it was
of the
great.
anniversary. Very, very funny, very entertaining.
It was a great episode. And when I turned on in the morning on my computer, I didn't actually know about the Five-ish Doctors. And then when I came on, I watched it straight away because I wanted to know what it was.
Yeah. I had belly laughs.
Me
When I was
too.
watching. There was a lot of very, very funny bits. My belly laughs were bigger than Colin Baker's belly. So,
How big?
it is big.
How could you fit it in the utility room?
So,
Okay.
what does it say?
Peter Davidson has spoken about the Five-ish Doctor sequel and the possibility of his Doctor returning to the show again. Davidson told Digital Spy that a proposed sequel to his 50th spoof is still possible if he can come up with a good enough idea. But he cautioned, "There are two problems, really, in my head. I wouldn't want to do it if it was half-hearted and nowhere near as good as the other one, so it would have to be a good enough idea. The other problem, and it's a fairly major one, is we had probably the best cast you could imagine. Literally everyone said yes, with one exception. And it's very difficult to imagine getting that cast together again and not paying them. I couldn't really ring up people and ask them to do a day for no money at all. Their patience might run out. So if I did come up with a good enough idea, I'd then have to figure out a way of actually paying them some money. All these things are not impossible, but I wouldn't even want to go down that road unless I thought it could be better." Davidson also says he's still open to returning to the main show under the right circumstances. Time Crash was a very clever script from Stephen Moffat, with the 10th Doctor remembering the 5th Doctor, but also David Tennant remembering watching me on the TV, so it worked on two levels. But that's always been the problem with regards to us older Doctors returning. Theoretically, we should look exactly the same as we did. Of course, we don't, as time has passed cruelly.
Alas. Yeah.
If someone could come up with a good enough reason, then I would love the idea, but I'd never push it. I never thought we would get to looking at it at the 50th, and that was fair enough, I think.
I think, I mean, the point he makes about the aging process is a really good one, and that's what made the way that they dealt with Tom Baker's return in the anniversary so powerful, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Because it didn't indicate it was the same person. It indicated potentially it may be a regenerated version where he reverted back to his old face. But it never really sort of fit in more than that.
It may be from the future.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, if you'd imagine sort of like Colin Baker being in it, he doesn't look anything like Harry then, does he?
He doesn't. He looks a lot fatter.
Yeah.
No offence, Colin. We love you.
It sort of did the same thing, I think, to a certain extent. Oh, what's that? It sort of did the same thing as well, to a certain extent, I think, when Patrick Troughton came back in the Two Doctors. He sort of looked a lot older, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
It doesn't make too much sense because he regenerated with a younger face.
I know. Like Sylvester McCoy looked so much older on that Dawn comic. You couldn't have him in it again. No.
But at the same point, we also love to see the old Doctor's return. So
yeah.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Peter Davison still looks similar.
He does actually. Peter Davison can get away with it more than most.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I would love to see a 5-ish Doctors sequel, but only if it has a relevance, because it was very funny before, and it was also because of the whole thing with it fitting in with the 50th. Why would they do one now?
Oh, the one that I was thinking of that would look the most similar to how they did in the old days was Paul McGann.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is.
And
true.
he was in the 5-ish Doctors.
Yes.
But only in a tiny bit.
Yeah. No,
like Tom Baker.
I would love to see Paul McGann return in one way or another, whether it's in the movie, like we talked about in the previous podcast, whether it's as a spin-off, or whether he does come back into one of the modern ones. But he just seems so underused, and the little bit we've seen, particularly with the stuff that came back with the 50th, he looked like a real waste of a Doctor, didn't he? Because he's good stuff. He
looked more War Doctor-y than the War Doctor.
Well, actually, I mean, there's a certain irony there, isn't there? I mean, you could. The thing was, I guess they wanted to have this whole thing of part of the Doctor's past being hidden because of the fact of what he had to do. But there would have been an argument, however much I love John Hurt, however much I liked John Hurt's portrayal as the War Doctor, but there would have been quite a good argument to say you just had that happen to Paul McGann, that Paul McGann basically became a War Doctor.
He was in the Time War, and he was he could have been
Yeah.
the War Doctor.
He could, yeah. He could have had to have made those choices.
And then Stephen Moffat wouldn't have had to think of another complicated story.
No, that's right. But it's a solution that could have happened, isn't it? But it didn't. So we'd still like to see him come back, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Okay, so the Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular will be staged for the first time in the US at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York,
Lucky
on Wednesday, October the 7th, 2015. The two performances, one at 3 p.m. and another at 7:30 p.m., will be hosted by Michelle Gomez, who plays Missy, the latest incarnation of the Doctor's arch-nemesis, the Master. Michelle Gomez comments, "I was a big fan of Doctor Who before I joined the cast, and I loved Murray Gold's powerful and emotional soundtracks for the series. This live show has been a big hit with the fans of the series in other countries, and I know that Doctor Who fans in North America have been waiting for their turn to see it. I'm so excited to be presenting the first ever American performances, and to be doing this in a city that has become my home. I can't wait till this fall to see how the amazing US audience reacts to the show being staged in the Big Apple. I'm honoured to be part of it."
Brilliant.
And then it says, "The show will feature over 100 musicians and singers under the talented conducting baton of Ben Foster. Fans can expect to see some of the Doctor's most fearsome adversaries live on stage, including Daleks, Cybermen, Judoon, Whispermen, and more. The live performances will be accompanied by a big screen presentation of key moments and specially edited sequences from the past decade of Doctor Who. Tickets will go on general sale via the venue box office and website at 10 a.m. on Friday, May the 8th, 2015.
Fantastic. That sounds good, doesn't it? Have you watched it on the telly, didn't you?
No, you can't watch it.
Oh, right. Didn't they show something, didn't they? Didn't they show some sort of like...
They showed the prom.
Ah, right, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. I was quite intrigued to see how they fitted in all of the baddies and stuff like that. All the villains that they mentioned, what they did. Do they walk around in between the musicians and things? or over the top of one of the sensitive bits of music, you're going to get a loud exterminate over the top.
Yeah.
I bet it's really powerful, though. I mean, a couple of months back, saw my first orchestral performance in a large venue when I saw Ennio Morricone perform. Ooh. And it was absolutely fantastic. It's like nothing I'd ever heard before. It was absolutely, really, really powerful.
Good.
Anyway, enough of that.
So,
this isn't the Morricone podcast.
So, Masterology is a new series they're doing on Doctor TV, and they're starting with Delgado, who they're reviewing now. And I'll just read a little bit because it's quite a long article.
Okay.
Let's read the start of it. By this time, the Master is already a fully realised character, in the sense that he was much further along his regenerative cycle than the Doctor. In this first incarnation, the Master's persona was that of a scrupulously polite gentleman who had no qualms about slaughtering people, but who occasionally showed genuine reluctance in harming the Third Doctor. That last part is important as it involves more than just a simple "why not just shoot him" trope. It reveals a deep psychological trait that is inherent in all masters, but often to varying degrees. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of this particular master's schemes involved him eventually spending a lot of time with the Doctor, which suggests a subconscious desire to be near him, the capacity of which was never made clear during this incarnation, but it is fairly likely that at this point, since both Time Lords considered their battles to be that of wits and both showed amusement at whatever obstacles the other placed in their way. This is likely due to the master simply enjoying the Doctor's company as an intellectual equal, which also points to a competitive personality that constantly strives to best him.
See, that I think that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because if you look at it in the context of the last series, you got that same sort of feeling with the Doctor and Missy.
Yeah.
And you maybe that's who she reminds me of more than anything is Delgado's representation of the Doctor. So slightly sort of mad.
I'm just thinking of a really bad episode with if David Tennant and Matt Smith met Missy.
Yeah.
And then Missy fell in love with Matt Smith.
Which she would do, wouldn't she?
No.
David Tennant.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's interesting. That.
Yeah.
But,
and next week we'll look at the corpse.
oh,
if you
okay.
like.
Okay, so what does that take us on to news-wise?
Well, now,
There is a lot of news this week,
it's
isn't
the
it?
final bit,
Okay,
and this is very important.
okay.
Okay, so over the last few weeks,
Mhm.
we've been on the podcast voting our favourite doctors
Yeah.
and pitting them against each other.
Yeah.
And you can see all of them on our website.
Yeah.
But I will reveal the winner. The War Doctor got 0 wins.
Boo.
Lost against every other Doctor.
Boo.
9th Doctor, 1 win.
Okay,
Beat the War Doctor.
okay.
12th Doctor,
Mhm.
2 wins. Beat the War Doctor and 9th Doctor.
Criminal. Should have been at the top.
So we've got 11th and 10th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
11th Doctor.
So number 1 then is
Well, first of all, 11th Doctor,
Mhm.
3 wins. Beat
right.
the War Doctor, 9th Doctor, and 12th Doctor. So, of course, that means 10th Doctor wins.
Okay, which proves that you're all bonkers because he's in fact the worst of them.
However,
Okay.
there is also another twist in the tale. When seeding the competition, we ask you to rank the Doctors with a score out of 10.
Mhm.
If you look at those results, we see the same order, but a different winner emerges,
Okay.
which the 11th Doctor is actually beating the 10th Doctor in the original seeding polls
Okay.
that we did.
I think
weeks
I can
ago.
understand why the 11th and the 10th are at the top, because of the fact they've had longer to develop and for people to get
Yeah.
a liking for them, whereas obviously Christopher Eccleston only had the 1 series,
And so far,
and Peter Capaldi has as well.
and War Doctor only got one
About 20
episode.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
However, I don't know. It's just mad. I think what it shows you is there's a lot of people that like the young, dashing Doctor. But that's not really the Doctor, is it?
No,
It's
the
not
original
really.
Doctor was hardly ever in it, and he regenerated out of old age,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he was actually younger than Peter Capaldi, which
Yeah.
is strange, but only by 1 year.
Yeah, but by dashing in the classic series, that you get the still grey-haired and wrinkly John Pertwee.
Yeah.
But to me, that I don't know. I know I'm always moaning about David Tennant, and I liked some of his episodes, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to dig it too much. In fact, some of my favourite classic, but some of my favourite New Who episodes are David Tennant ones.
Like Blink
But-
and Human Nature and Midnight.
But he still doesn't feel like the Doctor to me, and
Waters of Mars.
I would, I would have that poll in virtually the opposite order.
What Doctor first?
No, I wouldn't have the
Oh,
War Doctor
no.
first, purely because he has only had 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
to be honest, because I like John Hurt and I like his acting and I like the way he did the War Doctor, I could see him being second to Peter Capaldi if he had a whole series.
Yeah.
So it probably would be like the opposite order. It probably, if I was doing it, in actual fact, it would be in order. Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor first, Matt Smith second, Christopher Eccleston third, War Doctor fourth, David Tennant fifth.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
So let's look in here. So I got the Dawn magazine today.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of things in here. There's a new comic strip, Blood and Ice.
Okay.
There's an interview with Sylvester McCoy, who played the 7th Doctor.
Why is there an interview with him then?
Because of the audio adaptation 20 years after the book of Damaged Goods.
Okay. Damaged Goods being what?
I don't know what it's about. I've never never read it.
No, so I was thinking about where it came from.
Oh.
Who wrote it and stuff.
Oh, Russell T Davies wrote it. It was his first ever episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the, you may or may not know this, but in the book, which Doctor? Sorry, yeah, in the book, which Doctor's incarnation is it in the book? Do we know?
7th Doctor.
Oh, it is the 7th, right? So I wondered whether it was one where Sylvester McCoy was around for the radio adaptation, so they just put him in it, or whether it was actually written with him in mind.
Yeah. Yasmin Bannerman's in it.
Yeah.
And you may recognise her from Doctor Who in End of the World.
Okay.
That woman there.
Oh yeah. Her. She was in End of the World.
Yeah, she was Jade, the tree woman.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. There's also an interview with Carol Ann Ford.
Fantastic.
The history of Doctor Who on home video, 1983 to 1993.
That would be interesting, actually.
And a tribute to Brian Newby, who was a designer.
Okay.
And there's a look at the all-new Doctor Who Adventures magazine, and it is a 84-page magazine for only £4.99.
Only.
So every month you can buy that magazine.
Only. When I was your age, my comics cost me 8p.
I was just telling that bit just to make the audience viewer buy it. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
It looks like it's a good one anyway.
Yeah, it is, with a very old Sylvester McCoy.
Okay.
Oh.
So what's next up on the show?
Our main feature for today, Judge My Tenure.
Judge My Tenure. You better explain what Judge My Tenure
well,
is for those that don't know.
We look at the best bits of a Doctor.
Okay.
And how they're a great Doctor.
Okay.
And we also look at the bits how the Doctor could be improved.
Okay. All right. So we've done 1 to 4.
Yeah.
So it brings us on to 5, which is
Peter Davidson's
Doctor.
Okay, so our 5th episode. So what do you like about Peter Davidson?
Okay. I mean, I think he brought a certain youth into it, didn't he?
I think that because of GNT's new turn on Doctor Who with Adric and Nyssa and Tegan and the new young Doctor.
Yeah.
Nyssa and Adric were only 19 when they played. Yeah.
I think the other thing is quite interesting because obviously came on after the great Tom Baker, so which is a very, very difficult act to follow because in that period of time, Tom Baker had become the Doctor, hadn't he?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people, myself included, that whilst we were growing up, the only Doctor we really knew was Tom Baker.
Yeah, and he is the most popular, probably.
Yeah. And you know, like I said last week when we were talking about Tom, if you ask the majority of people to draw Doctor Who, still to this day, I think most people would draw Tom Baker's Doctor. He was that recognisable.
Well, I think sort of your age would do it, definitely. But I think the teenagers and young adults would draw David Tennant.
Yeah, maybe. But
not
he's
me.
not as recognisable. That's the thing.
I draw Tom Baker as well.
Yeah.
because he's also the easiest one.
So I think that's part of it, isn't it? That's part of the reason why. So I think he did a really good job in following him, because it couldn't have been very easy. And what he did quite well as well was that, whilst nothing really worried the Fourth Doctor, the Fifth Doctor has got a little bit more of the Second Doctor's panic, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not as calm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one episode when it definitely shows that. And also, Peter Davidson's regeneration, he just goes mad. He forgets his companions' names and calls, like, Nyssa Victoria.
Yeah.
And I think he even calls one of his female companions, like, Ben or something. Or Jamie.
What do you think of his first episode?
Castrovalva. Yeah, it's good because it gives a lot of stress and panic to him because, of course, the Masters captured Adric.
Yeah.
And they are about the Masters set the TARDIS to a black hole.
Yeah.
And so they're going to a fake world.
Yeah.
Which is Castrovalva.
Yeah. What was your favourite point about the Doctor?
Oh, yeah, as you said, he's enigmatic, and also he brought a youth to the show.
Yeah.
And he's just a nice Doctor. He's quite smooth, in my opinion. I describe him as a smoothie Doctor.
You now correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your favourite episodes are from that Doctor, aren't they?
Yeah. The only thing, by the way, my bad point is that, just to tell you that, my bad point is that it's really hard to do his voice if you do a figure. So I don't think he's ever been in the figure event.
No. Because he's not got, most of them have got a recognisable voice, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
Most of the Doctors, and he hasn't. You're right, it's quite a normal voice. I think the bad thing for me, and it's not really a bad thing, but it's a little bit like the good thing I mentioned earlier on, which is that following on from Tom Baker must have been very difficult. And I know at the point when he did regenerate, I didn't like the show as much as I had done previously.
But you wouldn't if you grew up in that time.
Because I just didn't find him as strong. But that's very unfair, really, because it was just because we become so used to Tom Baker's Doctor. And it's probably not until now where we've been going back and watching a lot of the episodes again, through the randomizer and just generally through watching things, that I've realised how good a Doctor he was.
And also, it's just the 80s that he wasn't as good.
Yes.
And it's like Tom Baker, he was still good, but he wasn't, and his episodes weren't as good as they were in the 70s.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we'll come on a bit later to Genesis of the Daleks that we were watching, but there's definitely the 80s full stop.
I know.
There's episodes don't generally stand up to the same level of quality.
I mean, this was 1981 when we had Peter Davidson, and then he left in 1984.
Yeah. So he managed to avoid the really bad 80s days.
Yeah, which I won't even go into Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I think I'll do a whole video on why I hate that story.
Because you watched that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's the worst ever story. It's just so tacky and so 80s. That's the one word I'd describe it, 80s.
Yeah, you didn't have to live through the 80s like I did.
Oh, God.
It was awful.
It
was an awful decade.
No.
There were good bits about me.
Luckily, Margaret Thatcher isn't here anymore. No, I mean, not luckily, sadly.
Well, it depends on where you look at it.
Yes.
Yeah. It depends on where you look at it. We don't miss her, but we wouldn't wish any bad on anyone.
But she did die.
Yeah, she did.
That was quite sad, but not sad.
But it's not the Maggie podcast either.
No, it is the election this week, but we won't go on to that.
No.
No.
So, in terms of Stories. What do you think is the strongest story that came through from Pete Davidson's run?
Case of Androzani is one of the ones that pops into my head straight away.
And we really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We watched that on the Randomizer, didn't we?
And Five Doctors is one of my faves. Snake Dance.
Yeah. What would be the pivotal Fifth Doctor baddie?
Pivotal Fifth Doctor baddie. I'd say the Master.
Yeah. Still the Master. And which Master was it?
It was Anthony Ainley.
Okay.
Because he was in Castrovalva, Time Flight, King's Demons, Five Doctors, Planet of Fire. So 5 episodes.
Did he meet the Daleks? Presumably he did.
Who?
Fifth Doctor.
Yeah.
Which one?
Resurrection.
Ah, right, okay.
And with Davros.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah. Okay, what about companions? What did you make of his companions?
By the way, all of the 80s stories with the Daleks have Davros in.
Do they?
Yeah.
Right. So that's another thing, actually, isn't it? In a way, you look and you think, well, they overused him a little bit.
Yeah.
Davros is great, but
5 episodes in the 80s.
Yeah. Which makes you wonder, why hadn't the Doctor met him previously?
Yeah.
Because he only met him after the Genesis story, which was obviously meant to have been some time before Daleks.
Yeah.
That he'd met previously.
I know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, companions.
Oh, okay.
Who did we have?
So we had Adric, Tegan, Nyssa, Turlo, Chameleon. Should we count Chameleon?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And Perry.
Okay.
Should we count Perry?
Perry's just there right at the end, isn't she?
Two stories.
2 stories, okay.
Well, Chameleon's in 2 stories, so if we count Chameleon, we better count Perry.
Okay. Who do you like out of those?
Not many of them. No, okay, so I'll go in order from worst to best.
Okay.
Worst, Adric. How many there were 6, weren't there?
Yeah.
5th, Nyssa.
Yeah.
4th, Tegan. 3rd, Perry. 2nd, Chameleon. 1st, Turlo.
I'd agree with you on Turlo, actually. Because
He's the only one that's not annoying and he's a good character.
Well, I think the thing with Turlo is he's a companion with a difference, and it's the first time we've had one with a bit of a dark side.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because he's not particularly good.
Because he's an alien that's been sent by the Black Guardian to Earth to destroy the Doctor.
So although he's not totally bad, is he? And I haven't seen him for a long time, but there's always that little edge to him, isn't there? And I like that.
You've only seen Rose of the Deep with him, have you?
Since we've been watching them again. I mean, I would have watched them when I was but I don't really remember them.
Of course.
Yeah,
you would have watched them in that.
What else do we want to share on this?
Let's think. What do we usually do? Monsters. Favourite monsters.
Favourite monsters. Well, I'll tell you what, I can't remember what they're called now, but I really like the ones with the Richard Mace story.
The Terralipitals.
Terralipitals, yeah, I really like them, and they were good, very rubbery, plastic looking, but I like them.
Fish creatures.
And there's those really cool robots with them as well, and it's a good story.
My favourite idea for a monster is the Mara that can spread.
Yeah.
But my favourite monster or villain is Sharaz Jack.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I can see that. Actually, I'd probably go with you on that because he's a bit of a mentalist, isn't he?
Yeah, I love him.
Actually, I think I'll agree.
So creepy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on tenure?
Should we rate them out of 10?
Yeah.
The Doctor.
Okay. I would have him around the 8 mark. I think.
Yeah, me too.
He's not one of my favourites. But he's not one of my least favourites. He's a lot better than David Tennant.
Would he come in the middle?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably would be that middle one.
About 7th?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Next week on Judge My Tenure, we will have our Colin Baker.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting discussion because a lot of people have him as their least favourite,
Yeah.
and I don't think we necessarily agree, but we'll talk about that next week.
So let's move on. Genesis of the Daleks.
Okay, so Genesis of the Daleks came up in the randomizer last week.
Mm.
For those that don't know, we should just give a very brief explanation.
I'll give the explanation of the randomizer and you give the story explanation thing. So the explanation of the randomizer is we have a spreadsheet of all 253 stories of Doctor Who, and we click it and we watch whatever episode we comes up, but we can't watch it if we've either already watched it or don't own it, which we own most of them. So
yeah,
there's going to be a very occasional time when it will say something like Marco Polo.
Yeah, that's right.
Or
The other thing is if
Crusade.
there's one which actually scares you, we skip those,
Yeah.
don't we? 'Cause there's a couple, and that's the case. The other so we pressed it last week, and
yeah.
Genesis of the Daleks came up.
Genesis.
So Genesis of the Daleks,
Oh,
Fourth Doctor.
good one. Yeah.
Fourth Doctor, basically, without giving away too much, the Doctor is taken to an unknown planet
Yes.
from his perspective. Well, basically, I think it follows straight on from the Sontaran experiment.
Yeah.
So he gets used as sort of transporter beam at that point.
Minerva.
Yeah, he gets beamed up, and there's a Time Lord there who basically commands him to do one more final task for them, which is to destroy the Daleks before they're created.
Yeah. Very good idea.
Very good idea, yeah. So he finds himself on Skaro. There's a war that's been going on for, how long did they say? Is it
1,000.
1,000 years. 1,000-year war that's been going on between
the Thals and the Carlets.
The Carlets? That sounds familiar.
Anagram of Dal.
And they meet the main scientist, the chief scientist of the Carlets,
Yeah.
a certain Davros,
Yeah.
who has perfected this sort of species of
Type 3 travel machine.
yeah, which he then renames
Dalek.
Daleks. So that's a basic background to it. It's a 6-parter, so we've only
got
watched
3
so far.
parts.
So we will carry on watching
We will watch it on Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah, and we'll give a full rundown on the story and our review of it next week. But
And we won't rate it today. We'll just give our view on the episode. So what was your favourite episode out of the first 3?
now the first 3, I really like the second part.
Me too.
I think of them. To be honest, all 3 parts are great. It's a really, really
Yeah.
good story.
I love
Very good story.
I get why it's the top 1970s story, but voted by Dawn.
Yeah.
I like the bit when they're climbing up the scaffolding.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Classic
isn't it?
moment.
In fact, the cliffhangers on all 3 sections are really good, aren't
Yeah, they are.
they? And it's great. Davros looks great, doesn't it? He looks it's lovely. Like all
Well,
the
you
things
haven't
like
seen the episode 5 cliffhanger yet.
that.
That's one of the most famous scenes in Doctor Who
Okay.
history.
So we'll look forward for that.
I know. And then after that, we could watch Batman March's recreation with the figures.
Okay, we'll do that. But all in all, one of my favourite ones has come up on the randomizer, has to be said, even though we've only watched half of it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to watching the rest of it. Another week.
What do you think of Sarah and Harry in it?
I think it's Harry's best that I can remember. I think he's really good in it, Harry. And Sarah's got quite a strong character in it, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's obviously finds a lot of the time she's on her own, isn't she?
Yeah, she
In the
is.
bits that we've seen. So yeah, she's quite a brave woman, really.
Yeah, Braveheart.
Brave heart. Yes.
Braveheart, Sarah.
So yeah, looking forward to watching the rest of it. Looking forward to it.
Yes. What about Tom Baker in it?
Tom Baker's great because Tom Baker's great in everything,
I know he is.
isn't he?
Every single episode he's ever been in.
Yeah,
Classic.
classic.
Full
Just
stop.
Full stop. Yeah, be interesting to see where we place it come the end of our review. Whereabouts it sits in our our overall list of stuff we watched on the randomizer, because I think it's going to be a very difficult one to beat.
I think it might come at number 1,
I think
in my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
I think it is my favourite one I've watched on the randomizer. And I've watched it all, so that's confirmed.
It might remember you when you watch episodes 4, 5 and 6. They're not as good as you remember them.
Yeah, but they are good.
Yeah.
They are good. But I think I remember them to be better than the first 3 parts.
Well, in that case, we're in for a treat, aren't we? I remember loving it as a young'un, even though I probably didn't see it the first time round. It was probably a repeat. But really looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So,
anything else to say on that?
I don't think so.
Okay, in that case, that brings us on to our next slither of our item. Our final one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Our bit to end the show, and we're going to do Who to Face.
Okay, do you want to just remind people what Who to Face is? It's a relatively new item, isn't it?
So every 2 weeks, in Alternanium with quiz question, we do Who to Face, which there's 2 things, a monster and a doctor section.
Both in a randomizer again, we love our randomizers.
And both of us have to come up with a different story that matches the 2 the monsters and the doctor.
Okay.
And we have to either make up a companion or say a companion of our choice.
Okay. Always a challenge for me, this bit, because I'm not big at remembering all the villains and things, but we should see what comes up.
Well, we've only done one of
these
so far, which the last time we did the 8th Doctor and the Mara.
Okay.
So we do it every 2 weeks.
So, you ready to click the magic button?
Anything else to say about that?
No, I think that gives us enough.
Okay, ready?
Is everything enabled you need it to be?
Oh no.
Yeah, so...
is it enable this content?
Enable the content, so we put the macro on. Right, okay, here goes.
Should we
press it? Yeah.
Headless Monks and the 7th Doctor.
Okay, so 7th Doctor being...
Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy, Headless Monks being...
the Good Man Goes to All one.
Ooh, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one, because they're one-off monsters, really.
They are one-off monsters. But
we could have them in the story.
But we have always said that they were the sort of thing that you could see being used far more often, couldn't you?
Okay. Should I go first?
Yeah, you go first if you want to. And then I have got an idea in my head already. So, well, firstly, what do you think they would work together well?
This is a hard one because I think they're kind of one-off bad guys. But I was just asking you. You've got a story, so you could go first because I went first last time.
Okay, no, that's fine.
So feel free to go first.
Okay. All right. Well, the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, arrives on this forsaken planet. It's like a complete desert planet. He's got his companion, which is Mal. Okay. And the planet's just a big desert, other than this silver dome in the center. And he goes into the silver dome, and within it, there's all these clowns and things like that on.
No. Sounds like a really 80s episode.
That's what I was thinking. There's all these clowns on tricycles, and they're going around the outside. And then in the centre, you've got like a gladiators pit.
Sounds like British and the Galaxy.
It's surrounded by headless monks. But then right in the centre, there's this young boy fighting like a minotaur type creature. And basically the headless monks are sentencing the people from this planet to death one by one for the crimes that their planet has committed.
Ooh.
That's my story.
Okay, what's it going to be called?
It's going to be called The Tricycle of Death. I don't know what relevance the clowns have got. I just thought we'd sort of cheesy thing that is
Yeah,
somehow
I know it is.
it's probably got someone like Ken Dodd in it as the person that's leading the Headless Monks.
I know.
Or who else could it be? Maybe somebody from like a 80s program, like Hello Hello or something like that. Yeah. But you
Or
obviously
Heidi High.
Heidi High, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my story. The Seventh Doctor's sitting down to drink a cup of tea.
Okay.
And Ace is loading up her Nitro 9,
Okay.
which he always goes on about. And then they hear a knock on the door.
Right.
But then when they open it, they're in the middle of the vortex.
Mm.
So then they land on the nearest planet.
Yeah.
And they open the doors, and there are Headless Monks surrounding the TARDIS.
Mm.
And then Ace kicks the Headless Monks, and they run. And then when they get to the place, they discover the leader of the Headless Monks, who's planning on bringing back the more of the Headless Monks that have died in wars of the past.
Excellent.
And
What's this called?
then behind them they hear a honk honk, and then the clown comes along.
And the tricycle.
Yeah.
And behind him is Ken Dodd.
Yeah.
So what's your story called?
Wars of the Past.
Wars of the Past. That sounds good, actually. It sounds better than Tricycles of Death. Right.
No, it's alright. It's a better story than it sounds.
Yeah, yeah. Mine's actually a worse story than it sounds. Because mine's in that horrible Mel period.
Oh no, yeah. You should have chose Ace.
I should have done
She's a
Ace,
kick-ass companion.
Yeah.
She's a lot better than Mel.
Well, I hope people will enjoy this. It's actually quite good fun because it puts us on the spot and we have to try and think of a story. I bet the Headless Monks, if they'd have been involved in that period of Who, would have been really crap, wouldn't they? Whereas they were actually quite good in the.
Yeah, they were. They were good bad guys.
Yeah. Well, bad guys, really.
Yeah.
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 So.
Oh yeah, bad bit. Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this week's proceedings.
I think it does.
What have we got next week? Have you got any announcements to make, by the way, about this week or not yet?
No.
I was thinking about the figure adventures.
No, I announced the date last week.
Okay.
So next week?
Next week.
We've got our review on the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, which will be interesting.
Let's judge my tenure.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got our full roundup of our thoughts on Genesis of the Daleks.
We have another episode of Quiz or Question.
We will be pressing the randomizer again.
Ooh. And surely we'll have lots of exciting news.
And maybe even be able to sort of give some new news about the Mr. Loose Moon.
I think this week we'll actually be revealing the title of the next 2 adventures.
Exciting.
Ooh.
So we'll be looking forward for that. We'll be looking forward to chatting to you again.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thank you for listening.